Before the valet even reached the door, before the chandeliers or the hushed music or the name everyone whispered about her, something small and unexpected happened that would change several lives forever, and if you stay with this story until the very end, you'll understand why sometimes the greatest miracles happen quietly, right in front of us. And before we go deeper, if stories that touch the heart and remind us of our humanity matter to you, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because what you're about to hear is one you won't forget. The billionaire stepped out of her car with the calm confidence of someone who had conquered boardrooms, markets, and expectations. Her name was Evelyn Carter, a woman whose success story had been written about in magazines and business journals, but rarely told with its emotional cost. Beside her stood her 10-year-old son, Noah, holding her hand a little tighter than usual. Tonight wasn't about deals or power, it was supposed to be about him. A simple dinner, just the two of them, something she promised after canceling one too many school events. Noah looked up at the glowing restaurant windows, his eyes wide with excitement, unaware that this night would reshape how his mother saw the world. Inside, the restaurant was elegant and warm, filled with soft laughter and clinking glasses. As they were escorted to their table, Noah's attention drifted. He noticed a man near the back, sitting with a little boy about his age. Their clothes were clean but worn, their posture cautious, like they were trying not to be noticed. The boy laughed at something his father said, and that laugh, pure and unfiltered, cut through the polished atmosphere. Noah tugged on his mother's sleeve and whispered, "Mom, they look happy." Evelyn followed his gaze, and for a moment, she froze. The man's shoulders were tense, his smile tired but genuine. He checked prices on the menu more than once, subtly, as if hoping his son wouldn't notice. Something about him felt familiar in a way Evelyn hadn't felt in years. She tried to shake it off, ordered their meals, and leaned back into her usual composed self, but her eyes kept drifting back to that table. The single dad's name was Daniel. He had saved for weeks to bring his son, Lucas, here for his birthday. Lucas's mother had passed away 2 years earlier, and since then, life had been a series of long shifts, unpaid bills, and quiet nights where Daniel wondered if he was enough. Tonight, though, he wanted to give his son something special, one memory that felt normal, even joyful. When the waiter came, Daniel ordered carefully, choosing the cheapest options while pretending it was exactly what he wanted. Noah noticed. Kids always do. He leaned over to his mother again. "Why does that dad look scared?" he asked softly. Evelyn opened her mouth to answer, then stopped. She realized she didn't know how to explain something she herself had forgotten, what it felt like to worry about money, about tomorrow, about whether love alone could fill the gaps. As the evening unfolded, Evelyn found herself distracted. Her phone buzzed with messages from executives, but she ignored them. Instead, memories surfaced, her own childhood, sitting in modest diners with her late husband, dreaming out loud about a future they might never reach. He had died before her success arrived, leaving her rich in wealth but often poor in presence. She glanced at Noah, laughing at a silly story she was telling, and felt a familiar pang of guilt. When the check arrived at Daniel's table, Evelyn noticed his face change. It was subtle, but unmistakable. He pulled out his wallet slowly, counting bills twice. Lucas chatted happily, unaware of the storm behind his father's eyes. Something inside Evelyn shifted. This wasn't pity. It was recognition. She stood up quietly and walked toward the restroom, but instead veered toward the manager's desk. She spoke softly, firmly, with the kind of authority that didn't need to announce itself. A few minutes later, she returned to her table as if nothing had happened. When Daniel asked for the check, the waiter smiled and said, "It's already been taken care of." Daniel blinked, confused. "That's not possible," he said. The waiter simply nodded toward Evelyn's table. Daniel stood, hesitant, and approached her. "Excuse me," he said, his voice unsure. "I think there's been a mistake." Evelyn looked up and met his eyes. "There hasn't," she said gently. I just wanted you and your son to enjoy the night. Daniel tried to protest, his pride flaring, but Evelyn shook her head. From one parent to another, she added. Please. Lucas watched the exchange, sensing something important. Dad? He asked. Daniel swallowed hard, nodding. Say thank you, he managed. Thank you, Lucas said brightly, and that was when Evelyn felt it, the weight of all her success finally doing something that mattered. But she wasn't done. As they talked, Daniel shared pieces of his story, not as a plea, but as a man finally being seen. Evelyn listened, truly listened, something she hadn't done in a long time. Noah joined Lucas, the two boys laughing as if they'd known each other forever. Before they left, Evelyn handed Daniel a card. If you ever want to talk, she said. Or if you need help finding better work hours. No pressure. Daniel stared at the card, hands trembling. I don't know how to thank you, he said. Evelyn smiled softly. Live well, she replied. That's enough. As she walked out with Noah, the night air felt different. Lighter. Noah squeezed her hand. Mom, he said, that was the best dinner ever. She looked down at him, eyes glistening. Mine too, she said, realizing that for the first time in years, she had invested in something priceless. And maybe that's the unbelievable part, not that a billionaire paid for a stranger's dinner, but that she remembered who she was before the world told her what success should look like. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that kindness still exists in unexpected places, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs a little hope today. Because sometimes, one small act can change everything.